Shalom, shalom, everybody. It's your brother Woodrow, James, whatever. Y'all cool? Here once again, unexpectedly, probably to y'all, enemy, but I got the word to read. I read, and I got something for y'all. We don't gotta wait until next week for part two, or till the end of the week for part two. We gonna get it right now. If y'all ready, let's go. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Elohim, the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And their going from us to be destruction, utter destruction, but they are at peace. Isaiah 57, verse 1 and 2. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous are taken away from the evil to come. I read this a lot when people that I know to be moral and upstanding people pass away, especially in these times that we in right now. Let's get the second verse. That was verse 1. Verse 2. He shall enter into peace. They shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. Now let's get the Good News Translation. This is the one I usually read. Good people die, and no one understands or even cares. But when they die, no calamity can hurt them. Verse 2. Those who live good lives find peace and rest in death. So people always taught that death is a bad thing, but sometimes that's the way of the Most High getting his chosen people out of here before the real stuff hit the fan, man. Like people looking for a rapture where people just flying up into the sky and all that type of stuff. I say all the time, I think that's the rapture. When people are just checking out of here, like it's a gospel song or Christian music song that used to be played a lot when I was growing up on the Christian music station here, because that's what my granny used to listen to. It's like the white version of, excuse my ignorance, but that's the best way I know to put it, like the white version of gospel music. It used to be called Christian music. And there was a song that said, there's a whole lot of people going home. Talking about the people that's checking out of here, man. This was in the 80s. So in the twinkle of an eye, we all be gone. It's a whole lot of people going home. And if you look around nowadays, it's a whole lot of people going home for real. I know I done lost some, and I done seen, just being on social media, I done seen a lot of people that I know losing some too. So it's definitely a whole lot of people going home. And like I say, good people die, and no one understands or even cares. But when they die, no calamity can hurt them. Those who live good lives find peace and rest in death. Verse 4. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. Though I be constantly harassed and maligned and misunderstood, even by so-called loved ones and friends. Like, this is a quote from the late great Robin Williams. He says, I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up alone. It's not. The worst thing is to end up with people that make you feel all alone. And ironically, that's the title of a song that I started when it ended up being on the project of my old group. And that's the place where I was made to feel all alone. And while we talking about it, I also feel alone when I talk with people. And no matter how much I stress how much better I feel now, how at peace I am now, how good I feel, them people sit there and listen to all of it and agree with you. You're like, oh man, you look like you feel better. Peace is what it's all about, man. Your health, mental health, and your peace. Ain't nothing worth compromising that. And then they turn around in the next sentence and say, can you just give us one more? You give us one more concert? People don't understand. That's like the equivalent of asking a abused spouse to go back and live with their spouse just one more time. Give it one more try. You broke one arm, go back and get the other one broken. Got one eye busted, go get the other one busted. Just because we like to see y'all together. Y'all was our couple goals. People don't care what they say. People don't care if you're okay. They only care if you're okay enough to do what it is that they want you to do. And I know that firsthand. Ain't nobody gotta tell me that. Like they say some stuff in the scriptures, I don't need nobody to tell me because I lived it. I lived that. That mean people do not care if you're good. They only care if you're good enough to do what it is they want you to do. Like somebody you could call them. I think it said another meme. The person was crying and they said, "What's wrong with you?" Oh, it was a female. Said, "Oh, me and such broke up." And the other female was like, "Oh man, girl, I'm sorry to hear that. You still gonna be able to do my hair tonight, though, ain't you?" And as funny as it sounded, it tickled me. As funny as it sounds, like that's real, man. That is real. People are definitely lagging natural affection in these days. They about they self. It's about what they want. If they get what they want, they don't really care what's going on with you. So, I digress though. This is chapter verse 5. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Elohim proved them and found them worthy of himself. Let's get our New Testament verse in here. I always got to give everybody one. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Good News Translation. I consider that what we suffer at this present time cannot be compared at all with the glory that is going to be revealed to us. Excuse me. Verse 6. As gold in the furnace, he have tried them. You go to Sirach number 2, chapter number 2, and it's talking about if you come to serve the Most High, prepare yourself for the time that you will be put to the test. And after that test, after you know he can trust you, that's when the good things come. But just don't a lot of people think that as soon as you dedicate yourself to the Most High, it's just gonna be your life gonna be a bed of roses. Nah, you definitely gonna be put to the test, man. Definitely, without a doubt. Once again, as gold in the fire, he had tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. Now, my mom, this particular chapter, when I first read it, I thought about my mom like real heavily because my mom had she passed away from a disease. She had gotten it was asbestos in her classroom, and she had developed like liver disease, and that was crazy to me because like a lot of times when people liver is not good, there's people attributed to drinking and stuff like that. My mom never drunk. When we did New Year's, we used to bring in the New Year. She used to have for all of us to drink sparkling cider. That's the closest to a drink I ever seen her take in my life. So when she first started having the problems and it's like liver, that like messed with me because because that's the first thing came to my mind was drinking and alcohol, and the fact that she never in my life have I ever seen her have any alcohol. I'm like, how'd she get that? But we found out later it was due to asbestos in her classroom. And she had like a principal who was like a real mean lady. Like a lot of the teachers was scared of her and was having like alopecia. One lady had alopecia and her head was falling out curls at the time and stuff like that due to how mean the lady was being to her, and she was just in constant anxiety and stuff like that. But anyway, she had medicine that she had to take, and she had a list of medicines that she wasn't supposed to be given, and I guess she had allergies to them or whatever. And so through some type of mistake or whatever on the part of the nurses and doctors or whatever in the hospital, they gave her one of the medicines because she was awaiting a liver transplant. Shout out to Sister April Green, who was a sister at my church, who was like found out that she was a match because I got tested too, but I wasn't a match. A lot of times children are the blood type of their father. So my blood type matched my father, but not my mother. So I wasn't able to be a donor. My sister or I were able to be donors, but the sister April was kind enough. She was a match, and she thought enough of my mom that she was gonna give her a part of her liver so they could do the transplant. But my mom had to get in healthy enough so that she could get the transplant done. So we were kind of waiting on that. But in the meantime, in between time, they gave my mom one of the medicines that she wasn't supposed to have, and she ended up developing something called Stevens Johnson's disease. And that disease, actually, what it is, it causes you to burn from the inside out. So she had to be placed in a medically induced coma so that she didn't feel the pain of burning from the inside out. And when I read this particular chapter, it made me think about her real heavy. Because look, check out what this say: as gold in the furnace, he have tried them, the Most High, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble, just like flying freely, like to and fro, to and fro. And that made me think of her too, because she used to always tell me that she used to have dreams. She used to tell, like, me and my sister, my dad, like all of us, my little brother, sister, like all of us, we used to just be talking in the car, whatever. And she used to say that she would have dreams, and things was like, whenever something bad was getting ready to happen to her, she would just get wings and she would just start flying. And when I think about these sparks just going to and fro freely, it made me think about her also. Verse 8: they shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their mighty one, Yah, shall reign forever. That's what we had to look forward to, y'all. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints. That used to be a favorite song that I used to get called on to sing in church when I was growing up. Your Grace and Mercy by was one of the mass choir, I think Mississippi Mass Choir, but one of the Williams brothers led it on the record. But that was my go-to song that people used to request for me to sing in church. It would not even be like the week for the youth choir to sing, which is the choir I sung on. And somebody would just give the ushers a note and be like, we see him sitting right over there. We want to hear Your Grace and Mercy. And they would go up, and sure enough, my mama would nudge me to go ahead up there. Some weeks I'm like, man, I don't feel like singing this week. I just want to enjoy the service. Get up there, boy. You should be glad somebody want to hear you. Get up there, boy. And that was my 10 years for real. And I'm definitely grateful for it now. You know, grateful to have had that opportunity to do that and to actually be able to develop my gift, you know. And for everybody who wanted to hear it, I'm grateful for that too, because it could be somebody that don't nobody want to hear. You feel me? So toda y'all for that. This is, once again, we're going to start verse 9 again. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide in him, with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yah, the Most High. Proverbs chapter 26, verses 27 and 28. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. Verse 28. A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. Good News Translation. People who set traps for others get caught themselves. People who start landslides get crushed. That need to be a meme or t-shirt or something. I likes that. Verse 28. You have to hate someone to want to hurt him with lies. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. I had a situation not recently where as though somebody was like maligning me, speaking ill of me or whatever. And I reached out to somebody close to that person because I've had conversations with the person and nothing got better. So I reached out to somebody else, like the scripture say, go to the brother first. Then if you can't get any clarity or any, your satisfaction from talk to the brother, then go to the congregation. So I went to someone who worked closely with that person. And when I asked them why this person continued to malign me when we haven't had any dealings with one another in like 14 years, the person said, oh, that's because they love you. Sometimes when people love somebody, they just don't know what to say or how to act. But this scripture says exactly the opposite. It says, basically, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, basically the scripture is saying you have to hate someone to want to hurt him with lies. People who set a trap for others get caught themselves. People who start landslides get crushed. 28. You have to hate someone to want to hurt him with lies. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. So where is the love? Huh? Somebody let me know. Because I don't know. I don't see it in the scriptures. That is not love. Well, Bobby Brown said, you don't love no one, and you constantly in doubt. You lose the game if you play that way. Get up off my back. Say bye. Well, say your heart attack, not mine. I'm good. Anyway. And then people that know the situation or whatever might be like, what's the hate? I said the same thing. But, I mean, like, the people who doing it is living way, way better than me. I'm living in a life in a mean cottage, like the scriptures say. The people that's talking the crap is living a life. Well, my mama used to say, the life of Raleigh. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look it up one day, but it means something about the good life, I'm pretty sure. And I'm regular, but I ran across some memes that say some people hate you because of the way that other people love you. So, all praise to the Most High for the way anybody who does love me or whatever. So maybe that could be the case. Then this would say some people hate you because your influence holds more weight than their title. Sometimes somebody have a title, and shoot, man, I've seen it happen where as though, like, I really follow what they call them, like the manosphere and stuff like that, like the videos who teach you how to be like a better man or how to conduct yourself in situations and help men to understand female nature and stuff like that, so we can make wiser decisions when it comes to like male-female relations and stuff like that. And he's like, it's certain guys who be like, why is she like that guy? He's a bum, he's a thug, and I have a college degree. I'm handsome. I go to the gym every week. He's a slob, and she likes him. Sometimes it's what the people say, it gotta be in you, not on you. So sometimes it's just something in you that it can't no, degree or no amount of money or whatever can match up to. You just got something in you. And I know for a fact that when somebody had the spirit of the Most High, it definitely overrides and supersedes a lot of other things. So my advice to anybody, I don't know why nobody would, be mad at me and feel a way about me, but if they do, if for those reasons what I just talked about, get closer to the Most High. Same things that I have, you can have. What they say, there is no secret what God can do. What He done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. There is no secret what God can do. Yep. This is verse 11. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and his hope is in vain. Proverbs 28:9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Give me a second. Turn this page. New Living Translation. Elohim, the Most High, detests the prayers of a person who ignores the law. So when you try to show somebody the law and the scriptures and stuff like that, and they like, oh man, don't show me nothing like that. I don't care nothing about that. We don't beat people up with the Bible. Stuff like that. That the Most High don't even want to hear a person prayers that don't want to hear His law. Why should He want to hear somebody that don't want to hear what He had to say? Why should He hear them out when they don't want to hear Him out? So let's not, anybody watching, listening, let's not be those guys and girls. Jeremiah chapter 11 verse 14. Therefore, pray not for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me in their trouble. Pray no more, New Living Translation, for these people, Jeremiah. Do not weep or pray for them, for I will not listen to them when they cry out to me in distress. So if we want the Most High to listen to us when we cry out, we got to listen to Him when He's saying what He got to say. Work both ways, man. all that unconditional. I don't know where people got their word from. There's always conditions, always terms and conditions. Somebody, matter of fact, told me when I was at a service I got called upon. I talked about this before to give a word, one of the commandments in the 10 Commandments, and the person who was the mediator over top of the program, they came on. They was like, any good friendship or relationship has terms and conditions. The 10 Commandments, or the laws and statutes and commandments that the Most High give us, is His terms and conditions for a relationship with us. That's what a healthy relationship has, terms and conditions, for real. Can't just do anything to somebody and expect them to just still want to hang out with you, still be around you. You don't listen to nothing they got to say, but they supposed to be all ears when you talk. It don't work like that. Verse 12. Their wives are foolish and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, that have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. And blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands have wrought no iniquity, for nor imagined things against Elohim. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and inheritance in the temple of Yah, and more acceptable to his mind. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. Sorry for belching so much. I just had some pineapples and blueberries, and I don't know, I get something about them making me burp. But ain't like I'm burping in nobody's face. Y'all can't smell. And if you did smell like pineapples and blueberries. This is verse 15. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, we read that, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Or, if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. And let's get chapter 4, just verse 1. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue, for the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with Elohim and with men. So that goes to all them people that, like, when you tell them you don't have no children, they just be like, and like, what's wrong with you? You alright, ain't you? And all that type of stuff. It's like, man, with stuff going on in this world, me personally, from when I was young, I always said, when I was very young, my granny read me the book of Revelation. And be clear, this is not a knock on anybody who has children. Children are definitely a blessing. There's many, many verses in the Bible that say that children are a blessing. But people who try to condemn those of us who don't have any children, don't want any children, that verse right there says it's better to have no children to have virtue than to have, like children. Let's read it again verbatim. I don't want to misquote it. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I closed my little notebook up in preparation to get on to the next part. It says, Wisdom chapter 4 verse 1. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue, for the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with Elohim and men. So let's go back and get the Good News Translation, and that's going to be it. The destiny of the righteous, Wisdom 3. But righteous people are protected by Elohim and will never suffer torment. It is a foolish mistake to think that righteous people die and that their death is a terrible evil. They leave us, but it is not a disaster. In fact, the righteous are at peace. And remember, we just got that verse in Isaiah, those verses in Isaiah that confirm that. It might appear that they have suffered punishment. Like I remember when my mom was in the hospital, and a so-called friend that I used to hang with back in the day, he came to me and said, "It sure is effed up for you to be a gospel singer." That was the exact words when my mom was in the hospital in a coma. But he don't understand. Like it says, it is a foolish mistake to think that righteous people die and that their death is a terrible evil. They leave us, but it is not a disaster. In fact, the righteous are at peace. It might appear that they have suffered punishment, but they have the confident hope of immortality. Their sufferings were minor compared with the blessings they will receive. Elohim has tested them like gold in a furnace. He and found them worthy to be with him. He has accepted them just as he accepts the sacrifices which the worshippers burn on the altar. We talked about that. When Elohim comes to reward the righteous, they will blaze out against the wicked like fire and dry straw. They will rule over nations. Shout out to my homeboy Blaze. He always say I'm blazing out. They will rule over nations and peoples, and the Most High Yah will be their king forever. Those who have put their trust in Elohim will come to understand the truth of his ways. Those who have been faithful will live with him in his love, for he is kind and merciful to the ones whom he has chosen. The destiny of the wicked. The ungodly, however, will get the punishment their wicked thoughts deserve. Because they rebelled against Yah and ignored what was right, a man who has no use for wisdom and education has a miserable life in store for him. He has nothing to hope for, his labors are useless, and he will never accomplish anything worthwhile. The woman he marries will turn out to be irresponsible, and his children will go wrong. All his descendants will be under a curse. Let's just read the Bible. The importance of virtue. On Judgment Day, Elohim will reward the woman who has never been able to have a child, provided she has not been guilty of adultery. Then she will be happy. On that day, even the man who has been castrated will be rewarded with happiness if he has kept the law and has not stored up resentment against the Most High. Because he has been faithful, he will receive a special reward more precious than having children, a place in Yah's heavenly temple. Honest deeds are like a tree that bears marvelous fruit. Wisdom is like a root that is alive and can always send up new shoots. But children born of adultery or of a forbidden union will die an early death. Yet, even if they do live a long time, they will never amount to anything. They will not be respected in their old age, and if they die young, they will have no hope of comfort on Judgment Day. Children born of a forbidden union suffer a miserable fate. So let's be careful, y'all, how we bring our children into the world, because we don't want to make anybody that we are responsible for suffer that or anything like it. And the verse 1 in Wisdom 4 that we read. It is better to have virtue even if it means having no children. Your virtue will be recognized by other people and by the Most High, and you will be remembered for it forever. So the next time somebody be like, why you don't got no kids? Oh my goodness, are you alright? This and this and this, why you have no kids? Tell them to read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 1. First tell money business, but if they still persist, then give them that verse. And with that being said, that's it. I done been in y'all face enough for 1 week. Most High bless and keep y'all, and hopefully, prayerfully, we'll get back together on the Shabbat. Alright? Peace.